very happy good evening. So this is Krishnaveni and we've been talking about the story of life on earth, and that's biology. So welcome to my lecture. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So today we are talking about lecture 3 of evolution. So we will finish off this chapter. So we just have a few topics left. So we'll quickly discuss them and finish this chapter. The most important topic for today will be a Hardy-Weinberg principle and the evolution of man. So you need to remember certain points. So apart from that, this chapter will be quickly done. Okay? Yes, Anthony, a very happy good evening. So thank you for joining my lecture. I hope you're doing good. Your preparations are going on fine. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. we are having a Menti quiz. So it is season 2 and episode 3 from the third unit, cell, the structure and function. So it includes cell, the unit of life, biomolecules, cell cycle and cell division. So you might have matched the following, you might have picture based questions, so you might have find the incorrect statement. So please prepare well for the Menti. So the Menti will be for half an hour and it will have 15 questions. Alright, yes Leela, hello, welcome to my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So thank you for joining my session. Okay, so let's move forward with evolution. Hi Munna, yes hello, welcome to my lecture. How are you? Okay, so you are well before time, even before Shimpi. Yes, I'm good, thank you. So Munna, please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, so guys, please type in the comment box what kind of session you want. So very quickly we have to start something for your NEET as well, for the aspirants who are attempting NEET in 2021. Yes, for Menti it is the third unit. Okay, Antonia B? Yes. And please ping me if you have any doubts in the Telegram link. So beneath my video there is a description. So beneath the description there is a Telegram link. So that is the eCareerPoint Telegram channel. So please join the Telegram channel because you have all the experts. So if you have any doubts, we can get back to you. Okay, right. So here we go, lecture 3 of evolution. So we have been talking about evolution since the last 2 lectures. So we will talk about what we spoke in the last lecture, giving you a quick recap, and then we move forward to mechanism of evolution, Hardy-Weinberg principle and the evolution of man. Okay? Yes, so it's gonna be a pretty short lecture, so don't worry. So what evolution has tell us? So this is what we have been talking. I hope you remember what is adaptive radiation, right? So origin of life, we started off with the theories, then we went forward to see how the theories were patterned. Then the evidences for evolution, it started off with the evidence for your fossil fuel, comparative anatomy, etc. So then we spoke about adaptive radiation. Then we emphasized on what is biological evolution and how the lifespan plays a very important role. Yes, Kalpita, a very happy good evening. Welcome to my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, where is your Didi? She's not here. Oh, she's here. Yes, hello Shimpi, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm doing good. How are you? Hello Naveen. So Naveen, how is your preparation going on? How are you? So thank you guys for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So today we will continue in detail about biological evolution. So we will talk about how evolution did start and what was the mechanism. So then we'll talk about the most important principle, that is Hardy-Weinberg principle, and finally it is evolution of man. Okay, so we'll try to finish off all these quickly so that we can say a goodbye to this lecture, right? Okay, so target NEET. Okay, so your name itself says how focused are you? Yes, hello, welcome to my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, fine. Why are you always bullying Shimpi? Huh? Okay, so guys, so please let me know if we have to solve previous year's questions, if you have to solve a lot of most important question, most expected question, if you want to solve mock questions. So please do let me know in the comment section, not in the live chat but in the comment section, because when I go back I don't get the live chat, I can only see the comment section. So please do send it in the comment section so I will have a look. Okay, ma'am, whatever you're doing, you're going to do for 21 batch, it will be good for us. Okay, Anthony. So Anthony, have you submitted the NEET form? Yes. So chemistry and physics, they told me they are about to start, but I'm not sure. Okay, I saw an eCareerPoint app channel, they said free PCB course for NEET 2022. How can I join the lecture? When it starts, it will be in English or Hindi. So please contact support@cpil.in. They will guide you. Okay. So support@cpil.in. Okay. Yes. The award for lion goes, okay, fine, successfully, yes. So you want mock questions and you want one shot best options, alright. So is the mock questions, do you need it in the form of Menti? So shall I bring 45 questions like how you perform in NEET? So can we have a Menti which is similar to your NEET pattern? So say for example, we'll have 45 questions from botany one day and 45 questions from zoology the other day. Is that fine? So can we do it like that? Yes? Okay, so please write it in the comment section. So because even I have to sort it out, so we have to have some revision. So I will see how can I manage time. Okay? Yes. Okay, so Naveen is fine with that idea. Okay, so let's move forward and give a quick recap. So I hope you remember the evidences for your evolution. So we spoke about one type of evidence. So that is comparative anatomy and morphology. So here we had two types. I hope you guys still don't get confused. So we spoke about the first one, that is divergent evolution. So in divergent evolution, so they diverge from a single point. So they have homologous structures and the function is different. So the organs are the same, but the function is different. So this is your divergent evolution. Alright? Yes? Yes, Dharani, a very happy good evening. So thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Yes, ma'am, mock is better because Menti means explanation is not possible. Okay, you want mock because you want me to explain the question. Alright, point taken. In Menti also, I can do the explanation. But since we run it for a very short time, I don't explain. In Menti also, I can write and explain if you need the explanation. Okay, Antonia B, so give it a thought and let me know. Right? Okay, so this is divergent evolution. So examples of this include the limbs of your, so this include limbs of man, whale, then you have dog or leopard, etc. So this is one example. Then you have thorns and tendrils of bougainvillea and cucurbita. Right? So the next one is your convergent evolution. So convergent evolution is they converge at the same point. So this is convergent evolution. So here you have different structures, but you have same function. So this is convergent evolution. Alright. So examples include wings of butterfly and birds, and then you have fins or claspers. So you can say flaps or, okay, so you understand. So it is flaps of your dolphin and your penguin. So it's not fins, it is, we'll say flaps of your dolphin. And penguin. So then you have eye of human and octopus. right? So this is the example. So tomorrow we have a mentee. So the mentee is at 4:30. It is season 2 episode 3. So we are having unit 3. Cell, the structure and function. You can have match the following. You can have question based, you can have picture based question. You can have select the incorrect statement, select the correct statement. You can have questions like that, okay? So this is the first part of the explanation. So then we went on to talk about what is adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation, so you have a particular variety, so you have a particular species which belongs to a particular place, and it has a lot of variety in that particular place itself, and then it spreads to different geographical location. So this is your adaptive radiation. So example will be your Darwin's finches, right? So when you have more than one adaptive radiation, so that is known as convergent evolution. So this includes your Australian marsupials and your placental mammals, right? So these two come under your convergent evolution. So after this, we went on to talk about natural selection. So how natural selection plays a very important role. So under this we spoke about white-winged moth and brown-winged moth. Right? So how industrialization led to the survival of each of these. So since we started talking about natural selection, there are 3 types of natural selection. So natural selection can work in 3 ways. So first way is directional selection. So please pay attention. So first way is directional selection. The next one is disruptive selection. And third one is stabilizing selection. So what is directional selection? So directional selection means, so I am talking about this one. So natural selection favors one extreme alone. So when it favors one extreme alone, the other extreme disappears and this extreme becomes common. So this is directional selection, okay? So disruptive selection is when it favors 2 extremes. So that both the extremes get famous, but the intermediates become less common here. Okay, so stabilizing selection is when the intermediates are selected and the extremes are lost. So if I say, so 2, 3, 5, so the average of this will get selected here. So that is intermediate stabilization or stabilizing selection. Alright, yes Satyendra, hello, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you? So Satyendra, how is your preparation going on? After a long time you're back. I hope you're doing good. Your preparation is going on fine. Yes? Okay, so these are the 3 types of selection. So then we started talking about biological selection. So in biological selection, I told you, so variation happens depending upon the lifespan, right? And so we gave the example of microbes, how quickly you get new varieties of microbes, right? And your natural selection supports reproductive fitness. So this fitness is inherited. The adaptive ability is inherited, right? Okay. Moth is directional because it favors one extreme. Yes, absolutely right. So this is one extreme. Perfect. So you have understood the concept so quickly. Yes. So this is directional selection because it favors only one extreme, right? So in disruptive, since it favors two extremes, so you have two new species being formed. Okay, so two new species formed. Right, so with this the recap ends. So now we are going to talk about another thing, that is branching descent. So we always have this doubt. Okay, so we do not know whether life is a process and evolution is a by-process. So life is the main phenomena, and because of life we don't know if evolution happens or vice versa. We don't know if because of evolution is what we are having life. So we don't know if it's still the cause or the phenomena. Okay. So stabilizing is you take the average value. You only take the intermediates. Okay. So if I say 2, 3, 5 is there, neither 2 survives, neither 5 survives. Only the average survives. So that is stabilizing selection. Okay, Antonia B? Yes? Fine. So now moving on from here. So biological evolution, so branching descent and natural selection are the key concepts of Darwinian evolution. So Charles Darwin was the father of evolution. So Darwinian evolution we say. So Darwin believed in two things. One is natural selection, the other one is branching descent. So branching descent is the tree of life. So where we come from? So from monkeys comes humans, right? So branching descent and your natural selection are the two key points of your Darwin's theory of evolution. Okay? So this is what the slide says. So another naturalist was there, who is Lamarck. So he said evolution of life occurred based on the use or disuse of an organism, right? So long legs for giraffe. So this is everyone knows. So Lamarck said that so giraffe was in need of a long neck, and so it eventually got a long neck. But this isn't true, right? So naturally the adaptive ability got inherited. If you have a giraffe with a short neck, so it tried to climb on its heels and feed on the trees. Right? So that adaptive ability got selected over natural selection. It is not that it was in need of a long neck, it got a long neck. So even I am in need of wings, but we won't get wings, right? So it is something similar to that, right? Alright, okay, so no problem, fine. So carry on. If you have any doubts in biology, so please ask me, okay? Alright, Satyendra, no issues. So people still don't know, is evolution a process or the result of a process? So this is still a big question mark, right? So now moving further, so mechanism of evolution. So how evolution happened? So what is the origin of this variation and how does speciation occur? So how do you have different species? So if I take dog, so in dogs there are so many varieties, right? So I have a German Shepherd, I have a Golden Retriever, I have a Labrador. So I have so many types. So how does so many speciation occur? So what is the origin of this variation? Suppose your fox, your wolf, your dog, they all belong to a family known as Canidae, the dog family. So there is a slight variation in fox, in wolf and in dog. So what caused this variation? So that is the question. If you know what caused this variation, so that is how evolution happened, right? So there was another scientist here who comes into picture. So he is called as Hugo de Vries. Okay, so Hugo de Vries said mutation is what causes variation. So mutation causes variation. So that is what this scientist gave a clue, right? So mutations are random. So Hugo de Vries also said, so this mutation is random. So we do not know where exactly it is happening. It is random, okay? And it is directionless. Of course, if it is random, so it has no direction, right? So this is how evolution happens. So this was stated by Hugo de Vries. Now Darwin once again comes back to picture, because according to us the father of evolution is Darwin, right? So what was his opinion? He said these variations are due to mutation, I understand, okay, but they are small and they are directional. They happen in a particular direction. So that was his argument. So evolution is gradual. So Darwin said one point for sure. He said evolution is gradual. It did not happen overnight from humans. From monkeys, humans do not come overnight. It took almost 65 billion years to happen. It almost took 2000 years to happen that from monkeys, humans came. Right? So it is gradual. So Hugo de Vary said mutation also led to speciation. If I have so many varieties, that is also because of mutation. So fox and a dog, so you have different varieties of fox and you have different varieties of dogs. So among these a small mutation happened, but among dogs itself I had a single step large mutation which gave me so many varieties. So that is known as saltation. So saltation is a single step large mutation. Okay? Yes, Kathy. Hello. Hi. Welcome to my lecture. How are you? How is your preparation going on? So are you a NEET aspirant of 2021? So your preparation is going on fine? So if you guys need any help in how to fill the form, so any further doubts, so feel free to talk to me. So please ping into the Telegram channel, that is the eCareerPoint Telegram channel. You have many other experts as well. So we are ready to help you, okay? So please don't take any tension. So this is saltation, fine? So what did we say? So we wanted to know how evolution happens. So how evolution happens, that is because of variation, right? So how does this variation occurs? So how this occurs and how does it give way to speciation? So that was the next question. So here we had two scientists. So single step large mutation, a mutation which has a very big effect on the phenotype. So that is known as saltation. Okay, Naveen? Yes? Fine. So here you had a scientist, Hugo de Vary. He said that mutations lead to variation. He said mutations lead to variation and these mutations are random and directionless. Fine. So he said, so speciation is by saltation, that is single large mutation. Fine. So then you again had Charles Darwin's coming into picture. He said these variations are small and they are directional. And he also stated that evolution is a gradual process. Both were accepted, right? So now moving forward, so the next one is your Hardy-Weinberg principle. So what is this Hardy-Weinberg principle? So Hardy-Weinberg principle talks about the gene or the allele frequency in a population. So remember, so now what was the effect of pandemic? So if I ask this question, so a scientist will talk in terms of a population. Okay. So if I say what is the effect of technology in today's generation, I am talking in terms of a population. I did not talk about the impact on a single individual. So always understand natural selection, evolution, variation, it applies at the level of population. Ecology, so everything is considered at the level of population. Alright, so we talk in terms of population. So did your Hardy-Weinberg principle also do. So Hardy-Weinberg principle, so Hardy-Weinberg was a scientist. He spoke about the gene frequency, the allelic frequency in a population. Suppose if I have a tribal community, so what is their gene frequency? Which genes are common? Which genes are mutated? So when I talk about genes, the alternate forms of a genes are allele. So what is their allelic frequency? So that is also important, right? So now, if a tribal person comes out and marries a foreign girl, so will there be a change in the gene sequence in the upcoming generation? So that was his concern. So that is your Hardy-Weinberg principle. He talks about the stable gene frequency in a population, right? Okay, so Hardy-Weinberg principle, in a given population, one can find frequency of occurrence of an allele of a gene or a locus. So if you take the Indian population, so we are all strong. So we are all light colored, right? So we are not very fair. So we are a bit dark colored, okay? So consider this on an average. So we are all well built. So on an average, everyone is tall. So we don't have very much dwarf population. So these are some genes which are very, very prevalent in our population. Now you take the allele frequency of those genes and see if it's maintained constant generation after generation, right? So allele frequencies in a population are stable and is constant from generation to generation. So if I have 10,000 Indian population, they mate among themselves and they produce offspring, then the gene population, the allele frequency will remain stable, right? There will be no change because it is within the same population, they are living under the same environmental condition. So here we talk about a new term that is known as gene pool. So gene pool is total genes and their alleles in a population. So now in my body the total genes are 25,000 to 30,000. So in a population, what is the average genes which are very common? So what is the allele? So I take the total. So that is my gene pool. Okay. So that remains constant. So this is known as genetic equilibrium, or this is known as your Hardy-Weinberg principle. Okay. He says the sum total of all frequency is 1 or it is a constant. So here we see, so don't get confused. So here we talk about Hardy-Weinberg principle. So this is what we call it as population genetics because it involves the study of gene and allele. So this is in term population genetics. So he said in a population, the gene and the allele frequency is stable generation after generation. So that is what he stated. So he also took a term that is known as gene pool. So gene pool is the sum total of all genes and alleles in a population. For all those who do not know what is a gene, so please listen. For example, if this is gene A which codes for height, so it can either be tallness or it can either be dwarfness, right? So these two contracting things are alleles, okay? Right? So this is gene pool. He said the sum total of all frequencies is 1. So he said the gene pool is constant. The sum total of all frequencies is 1. So he called this as genetic equilibrium or Hardy-Weinberg principle. Fine? Okay. So here you have to understand. So we have a dominant allele, we have a recessive allele. So this is homozygous dominant, this is a homozygous recessive, and this is our heterozygous allele. Recapping your principles of inheritance and variation, right? So if I take, this is one allele, this is another allele, right? If the frequency of allele A is P, if the frequency of allele small a is Q, so he said P plus Q is equal to 1, right? So if I write AA plus 2a small a plus AA, it's 1. So this is nothing but p square plus 2pq plus q square. He said this is a constant, right? So the frequency of allele A is P, the frequency of allele small a is Q. So AA means P square, small a is Q square. So this is 2PQ. So this is what Hardy-Weinberg said. Right? Is this clear to everyone? So this is what he said. Done? Everyone understood? So if you might get some numerical questions of this sort. So if they give you the value of P, if they give you the value of P as 0.4, how will you find Q? So 1 minus P is equal to Q, because P plus Q is equal to 1. Right? So if they give the value of P, you can find Q by 1 minus P. Alright? So let me give you an example of how the questions come. Okay. Suppose they say the frequency of allele A is 0.4. The frequency of allele A is 0.4. Okay. So find the frequency of AA in a given population. So they have said frequency of allele A. So frequency of allele A is 0.4. Okay. So now how do you find Q? 1 minus P is equal to Q. So this is 0.6. Right. So we know AA plus 2a small a plus a square is equal to 1. Right. So AA you know 0.16 plus this is 0.36. Right. So this is 0.48. Right. If I am right. Yes. So this is 0.48. So AA frequency is this. So this is the frequency of AA. So this is what you have to check if it sums up to equal terms. Right. Okay, so this is your Hardy-Weinberg equation. So if they ask the frequency of AA, you should write it as 0.36. So this is how you will know, right? You only know the frequency in physics, that is 1 by T. Okay, fine. So know this frequency as well. Sometimes they will give the total population is 1000. Okay, so this is the total population. Right? So out of this, heterozygous is 480. Right? So find, so this is the total population. This is the frequency of heterozygous individuals. So find the frequency of Q, or find the frequency of allele small a. So if this is the frequency of heterozygous individuals, so this means it is 2AA, right? So this is 2PQ's value is given. So you should do it in reverse way. So in the next class, I will solve some questions. I am just giving you some ideas. So I will bring some questions. We will solve some questions. So it will be easy for you. Alright? Yes. Hello Sonali. So welcome. Yes. So yes, you guys have understood the concept. Yes Sonali. So please do like, share and subscribe. So this is how the Hardy-Weinberg frequency questions can come, but very rare. Okay. So what are the 5 factors known to affect Hardy-Weinberg? So Hardy-Weinberg easily said the genes and the allele frequency are constant, but it is very rare. But it is very rare. Why? There are so many factors which can change this. So one is your gene migration or gene flow. So if I have an Indian population, if one of the Indian goes out, okay, and he marries an American female, they have a kid and they come to live in the Indian population. So this is gene migration or gene flow, right? Okay. So then genetic drift, if there is a drift in the number of genes, okay, if there is a sudden mutation, genetic recombination, suddenly if new variation is selected, then natural selection. So all these can change this genetic equilibrium. So these are the factors which have to be constant for your genetic equilibrium to be 1. So otherwise the genetic equilibrium changes. Alright? Okay. So here you have to remember 2 more things. What is bottleneck effect? So what is bottleneck effect? Suppose there is a disaster, a natural disaster on an island. So out of the 100% population, only 5% survive this disaster. So this is bottleneck population. Right? So this is bottleneck population. You have another term. What is founder's effect? So founder's effect, suppose I have an island and originally population A lived on this island. Okay, right? So then a disaster happened. So I had bottleneck effect. Okay, so now slowly a new population B began to be more common. Okay, so population B continues to flourish. So very soon, suddenly few members or few characteristics of population A comes back. Few characteristics get expressed in the population. So that is your founder's effect. The founder's characteristic once again comes back. So that is your founder's effect. Alright? Okay. So now origin and evolution of man, the last topic of this chapter. I hope you have understood your Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Yes, we will talk about the questions in the next class. So next class I will discuss the most expected questions from evolution or the possible questions in evolution. Right? So now we go to the last topic of this chapter, origin and evolution of man. So this is where you guys feel a bit difficult. So don't worry. So origin and evolution of man. So this happened 15 million years ago. So MYA is million years ago. So this happened nearly 15 million years ago. So the first type of man was Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. Okay. So he was hairy and gorilla-like and chimpanzee. So Dryopithecus was more gorilla-like and he was a bit man-like. The first human-like being is hominid. So he belongs to Homo habilis. Right? So the brain capacity was the least, then Homo erectus happened, then your Neanderthal man, and then you have Homo sapiens. So here I have tabulated it very nicely, so with the common names as well. So it starts like this. So Dryopithecus, so he was more ape-like. So he was the earliest fossil ape. And this happened exactly 55 million years ago. So this is your Miocene. Done? Yes? So then you had Ramapithecus. He was more man-like. So the first man is hominid. So he was more man-like. So he was more ape-like. So he happened 15 million years ago. Okay, so then you had Australopithecus, the first ape man. He was ape-like, he was man-like. Then you had a combination of both, so that is Australopithecus. Okay, so the first brain development was seen in your Australopithecus. So he had a brain size of 450 cc. This is cubic centimeter, right? Then Homo habilis was the first man who made tools, okay, who made weapons, sharp tools, okay. So this happened 2 million years ago. So then you had Homo erectus. So he is also known as the Java man who lived inside your caves, right? Okay, so he lived around 1.5 million years ago. So then you have Neanderthalis. So he is your Neanderthal man, the first civilized man who went to bury dead bodies, etc., who learned that we have to wear dress. So that is your Homo neanderthalis. So he happened very near in future. Then we have Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens is Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man, okay? The first bipedal movement was seen in your Homo habilis. So that is walking with 2 legs. Monkey walks with 4 legs. So bipedal movement was seen in hominid, okay? So your Cro-Magnon or Homo sapiens, they have the highest brain capacity. So please remember this order. So this order is important. So don't go much in deep because we will follow your NCERT way, right? So Rajendra Prasad, yes, good evening and thank you for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So is this clear? Is this clear, guys? Yes? So please provide a physics video. Okay, Prasanna, your suggestion is taken. We will do. Okay. So I will talk to the management. Fine. So this is how it happens. So one more thing that I want to tell you. Okay. So what is the difference between era and a period? So this is where people get confused, okay. So era is a point, okay, it is the beginning and end of a particular event, okay. So it is a long time period, it happens for a long time, okay. It marks the start and end of an important event. So the rise of Akbar, okay. So era of Mughals, so Mughal era. So when the Mughal era started and when it entered, right? Yes, so that is an era. So physics video you want because physics is very, very important. Okay, so you are Abhirami, all right. Okay, so everyone finds it difficult because they need physics and chemistry, so bio is a bit easy. Yes, I will talk to the management, all right. Okay, so period is a short time interval. Right, so this is the difference between it, okay, fine. So era, you have 3 types of era which you have to remember: Mesozoic, Cenozoic, and the other one is your Cretazoic. So please remember 3 eras you have for both your plants and animals, and each of the era has a period. So Mughal era first had the period of Akbar, then it had the period of Shah Jahan, then Aurangzeb, so on, right? So each era has a period. Fine, so remember this. So we know the first life started in water, right? So life started from macromolecules, that is inorganic things. So then we had cells. So then we had unicellular organisms. So first we had jawless fishes. So we had weeds. Then we had other fishes. So slowly we had amphibians. So then we had reptiles. So then slowly we had birds. And then finally we had mammals. So in case of plants, it starts with your bryophytes. Then slowly we had your pteridophytes, your mosses and ferns. Then we had dicots, then we had gymnosperms, and finally we had your angiosperms. That is flowering plants, right? So please remember this is important, right? No, just remember each era has a period, that is enough, okay? Right? Okay. Yes, all right. Okay, thank you, Abhirami. Yes, so this brings us to the end of evolution. I hope it's clear. Yes? Done? So with this, we are done with evolution. So in the next class, I will finish off evolution. But tomorrow at 4:30, we have a Menti quiz. So it is episode 3 and season 2. Alright? So you are sending love from Bihar. Okay? So I am sending love from Kota. Alright? Okay, fine. So with this, we come to the end of evolution. So this is your Dryopithecus, Ramapithecus, Hominoid, Homo erectus, Neanderthal man, and finally your Homo sapiens, right? Okay, so in the next lecture, I will discuss questions. So please join with me at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. So we will have a short Menti. So it is just 15 questions for 40 seconds. So we'll be done in half an hour. So please join. So if you genuinely liked my way of teaching, so please do like, share and subscribe. So please send in your suggestions in the comment section. So I will look into your suggestions. Alright. So stay care and stay tuned. So this is me wishing you more and more. So stay tuned and bye.